Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of 2 Timothy. Today we're looking at 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 3 through 7. Now yesterday we saw that Paul had reminded Timothy that sometimes in the cause of Christ you're going to suffer. There's going to be hardship, there's going to be difficulty. He says, but you're going to be a good soldier of Jesus Christ, enduring hardship for the cause of the kingdom. And then following up on that comment, Paul uses 3 illustrations to talk about the importance of discipline in the Christian life, discipline in the Christian faith. Notice what it says, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 3 through 7. Join with me in suffering like a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No one serving as a soldier gets entangled in civilian affairs, but rather tries to please his commanding officer. Similarly, anyone who competes as an athlete does not receive the victor's crown except by competing according to the rules. And the hardworking farmer should be the first to receive a share of the crops. Reflect on what I am saying, for the Lord will give you insight into all of this. So Paul uses 3 examples or 3 illustrations to remind Timothy of the importance of Christian discipline. First, the discipline of a soldier who obeys and follows the commands of his officers. No army can exist, no army can be successful if it does not have discipline in the ranks, following the commands of the officers. And then he talks about the discipline of an athlete, one who is competing in the games. It's an old saying, an old cliche, but it's true. You play like you practice. All the discipline of preparation translates into victory in the games. And then, of course, he uses the example of the farmer who works the soil. The harvest does not just come without the hard work and preparation of the ground, planting of the crops, the weeding, all that goes into it, the hard work of the farmer. So these 3 illustrations, that of the soldier, that of the athlete, and that of the farmer, the importance of discipline to the Christian life. Now, we know that the Christian life is all by grace. But that does not mean there's no discipline involved in the life of that grace. We must discipline ourselves to hear the word of the Lord, to follow the commands of the Lord, to practice the spiritual practices that help us grow in grace. John Wesley called Christian discipline the means of grace. And by the means of grace, he meant things like Bible study, worship, attendance upon church, receiving the Holy Communion, being in fellowship with other Christians, learning of the Bible, being in fellowship and prayer with others. All of those disciplines of the Christian life, he called these disciplines the means of grace. You see, the disciplines are the ways by which we open ourselves up to more and more of the grace of God. So when we say we live by grace in the Christian life, that does not mean that we have no part to play or no role in it or no effort to make. No, we have to practice the disciplines of the Christian life. But the disciplines are the means of grace. The disciplines we practice, daily prayer, daily Bible reading, daily worship, these sorts of things, these disciplines open us up to receive more and more and more of the grace of God. And as the grace of God fills us and flows through us, we are more effective in the living of the Christian life, more effective in advancing the gospel, more effective in winning others for Jesus, more effective in making a difference in our world. It's all by grace, but we receive more of the grace by the disciplines of the life. So let us be a disciplined people. Let us practice those disciplines of grace we know so well, because by these means of discipline, we grow in grace and we're more effective in the ways of the kingdom of God. So Paul says to Timothy, you're a soldier, practice the disciplines of the army. You're an athlete, practice the disciplines of the sport. You're a farmer, practice the disciplines of preparing the ground. In all of these ways, you live in the fullness of God's grace. Hope you join us tomorrow as we continue looking at chapter 2 in our 5-minute Bible study in the book of 2 Timothy.